Good afternoon and welcome to the May Nutrition Support Monthly Call. My name is Misty Woods and I'll be leading today's monthly call. First, let's talk about School Lunch Hero Day, which is Friday, May 5th. School Lunch Hero Day provides an opportunity to acknowledge the creative, forward-thinking, hardworking, reliable, dedicated, and unstoppable heroes on your food service team. It is because of their commitment to student health and desire to improve learning outcomes for our children that Louisiana is able to offer students high quality and nutritious meals each and every school day. This year also marks the 10-year anniversary of School Lunch Hero Day, so be sure to take this opportunity to celebrate and spotlight nutrition professionals and their one-of-a-kind superpowers. Here are some ways you can join the celebration. Be thankful. Encourage students to create homemade thank you or appreciation cards to share with their favorite school lunch heroes. Get creative. Promote School Lunch Hero Day by creating posters and putting them up in common areas for all students and teachers to read, praise, and enjoy. Give back. Switch roles and let the students and teachers serve their nutrition professionals a well-deserved scratch-cook local fresh meal or snack. Get social. Create a shout out for your nutrition team on social media. Make an individual post for each staff member, thanking them and highlighting their unique superpowers. Use the hashtag School Lunch Hero Day. For other ways to celebrate your school lunch heroes, visit the School Nutrition Association's 2023 School Lunch Hero Day campaign. There are so many ways to celebrate our school lunch heroes. There must be something that fits your student population, campus, meal service, and scheduled events. Your partnership is critical to ensure that this year's School Lunch Hero Day is the best one yet. We encourage you to share with your school nutrition professionals how grateful you are for all that they do. First, let's talk about what's new. We have a few staffing updates to make. Our two newest education consultants are Kendra Randall and Stacy Griffin. We are so excited about having them on board with us. We have a new administrative professional, Mary Bacon. She has been with the Department of Education for some time, so we are excited to gain her experience and welcome her onto our team. Chandra Scott has recently been promoted to the School Food Service Coordinator position. This was Courtney's old position. I know many of you heavily rely on her for information, and she has been an outstanding support to our team. Judy's last day in the office will be Tuesday, June 6th. She is set to enjoy a happy retirement after 29 years at Louisiana Department of Education. Her Director of School Food Service and summer position will be posted to the Civil Service soon. Helen Folks and Chandra Scott's Education Consultant 2 positions will also be posted very soon. Helen's last day with the department will be this Thursday, May 4th. Please wish her the best in her future endeavors. For all summer or equipment questions, please contact our main email address at childnutritionprograms@la.gov. And lastly, Stephanie Loop has been named the Executive Director of Child Nutrition, so she will be working with all child nutrition program and teams. Please note that during this transition time with the department staff and shifting of some responsibilities, the most effective and efficient way to contact us with your questions is to email us at childnutritionprograms@la.gov. These emails are filtered to the correct staff member that can answer your questions. Let's discuss the memos and resources that have been posted over the past month. We will start with SFS 23-83 and end with SFS 23-105. Memo SFS 23-83 is Professional Standards Summary of Updates flyer in Spanish. This flyer provides an overview of the professional standard requirements, which consist of hiring standards and annual training requirements for school nutrition professionals. This Spanish version, which was released in English in 2021, includes the hiring flexibilities established in 2019. Memo SFS 23-84 is the extension of the comment period for the CNP revision to meal patterns consistent with the 2020 Dietary Guidelines for Americans proposed rule. The Food Nutrition Service has extended the deadline to submit comments on the Child Nutrition Program's revision to meal patterns consistent with 2020 Dietary Guidelines for Americans proposed rule to May 10th, 2023. This extension is intended to give the public additional time to review the proposed rule and submit comments. Memo SFS 23-85 was the March 2023 SNAP and TANF loaded to eScholar Direct Match. The LGOE ran the statewide SNAP and TANF matches for all school districts, public and non-public, and districts should resolve any near matches below. SNAP batch number 4664 and TANF batch number 4672. Memo SFS 23-86 is Food Waste in Schools and Strategies to Reduce It webinar. Healthy Kids, Not Healthy Trash Cans, Food Waste in Schools and Strategies to Reduce It webinar was presented on Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Recording and slides will be available on Louisiana Fit Kids website. And K-12 schools play a special role in reducing, recovering, and recycling food waste. Learn more about how and why food is wasted in schools and proven strategies to reduce it. Memo SFS 23-87, CNP enrollment data discrepancy solutions. This memo gave solutions to enrollment and direct certification discrepancies in eScholar. Everyone has submitted their population data, but this document may be useful for you in the future as you troubleshoot your direct match data. Memo SFS 23-88, No Kid Hungry, Schools Out, Foods In Summer Webinar Series. Please join No Kid Hungry for a series that will address all things summer meals. The Planning for Summer Meals Strategies to Plan Smarter, Not Harder occurred on February 28th. Make It Mobile, a deep dive into mobile meal programs occurred on March 28th. Spread the Word, Summer Meals and Summer Pandemic EBT Outreach and Promotion occurred on April 25th. Strategies to improve the summer meals experience for kids and families will be on May 23rd. Year-round meals, tips for transitioning from summer to after-school meals will be on June 20th. Memo SFS 23-89, Paid Lunch Equity Guidance for School Year 23-24. This provides guidance to state agencies and school food authorities on the Paid Lunch Equity tool for school year 22-23. It explains the PLE exemption provided in the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, provides guidance for SFAs that do not qualify for the exemption, including those who may be returning to paid lunch equity requirements for the first time in a few years. We do have a new tool that will be posted in the coming weeks, and we will also be hosting a training specifically on paid lunch equity later this month. Memo SFS 23-90, the webinar recording is now available for CEP, Increasing Options for Schools Proposed Rule. This recording of the webinar, Child Nutrition Program, CEP, Increasing Options for Schools Proposed Rules, and presentation slides are now available on the Food Nutrition Services website. The link to it is in the slide. Memo SFS 23-91, the March 2023 Medicaid free lunch and Medicaid reduced lunch files were loaded to eScholar Direct Match. Districts should resolve the near matches in batches below: Medicaid free lunch batch 4753 and Medicaid lunch batch 4752. Memo SFS 23-93, Action for Healthy Kids Requests for Applications, Healthy Meal Incentives Grants for Small and/or Rural SFAs. As part of the cooperative agreement to develop and implement USDA FNS Healthy Meals Incentives Initiative, Action for Healthy Kids is offering competitive grants up to $150,000 per SFA for small and/or rural SFAs to support efforts to improve the nutrition quality of their school meals. The deadline for submitting the grant application is May 26, 2023. Memo SFS 23-94, Oversight and Monitoring of SMPs, Important Information Regarding On-Site and Off-Site Strategies and Options. This provides guidance regarding on-site and off-site strategies and options for oversight and monitoring of the school meals program. Impacts review requirements regarding the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program, School Breakfast Program, National School Lunch Program, including the Seamless Summer Option, and Special Meals Program. Provide guidance to state agencies implementing the above programs. Memo SFS 23-95 is appendix on on-site and off-site monitoring guidance for school meal programs. The intent of this document is to provide guidance to state agencies on what elements of the school meals program's administrative review are required to be conducted on-site and information regarding state discretion for the review of the program's off-site. Guidance is organized by module in the Administrative Review Manual, and this resource also includes guidance on completing the entrance conference, which is optional, and exit conference, which is mandatory. Memo SFS 23-96, School Nutrition Professionals and Staff Wellness Policy Training, April 27th. In collaboration with the Louisiana Department of Education, Well Ahead Louisiana hosted a free virtual training for school nutrition professionals and staff supporting school health and wellness on April 27th. Memo SFS 23-97, now available, new food yields added to the Food Buying Guide interactive web-based tool and Food Buying Guide mobile app. New yields are now available in the Food Buying Guide for Child Nutrition Programs interactive web-based tool and the Food Buying Guide mobile app. New yield data is available for these highly requested foods: apples, bananas, choke cherries, taro, and fresh apples. Stay tuned for additional yield data releases coming soon. Memo SFS 23-98, Virtual Manager Training, May through June 2023. The Virtual Manager Training will be conducted through Zoom May 30th through June 2nd, 2023. To register for this training, the following criteria must be met. Participants must have their own email address. Participants must have a computer and reliable internet service at the training location. The computer must have both audio and video capability so that participants will be able to see, hear, and participate in the training. The assessment will be computerized. Participants are required to be proctored by the CNP director or designee. SFAs may wish to host the assessment in a computer lab on site. Memo SFS 23-99 is the virtual manager training that's in July, and this virtual manager training will be conducted in Zoom as well from July 17th through July 19th, and the same criteria must be met. Memo SFS 23-100 is the 2023's summer feeding applications are now open. The 2023 Summer Food Service Program online application is now open for sponsors. Non-School Food Authority sponsors that did not participate in summer feeding last year, 2022, are considered prospective sponsors and will need to apply for a username and password to fill out the 2023 online application. The 2023 summer online application has been updated to reflect the requirements of the USDA final rule. Memo SFS 23-101, Summer 2023 Non-Congregate Meal Service in Rural Areas, question and answer number 2. This memo provides further guidance on the administration and operation of non-congregate meal service in rural areas during the summer 2023 for the Summer Food Service Program and National School Lunch Program Seamless Summer Option. It applies to state agencies administering and local organizations operating the Summer Food Service Program and National School Lunch Program Seamless Summer Option. It relates to the requirements under Section 13 of the Richard B. Russell National School Act and the Summer Food Service Program regulations under 7 CFR 255. Memo SFS 23-103, Best Practices for Contracting with Food Service Management Companies. This provides information regarding procurement practices for the school breakfast program and the National School Lunch Program. It relates to program-specific procurement regulations at 7 CFR 210.16, 210.19A5, 210.21, 220.7, 220.16, and federal procurement standards at 2 CFR 200.318 through 327. This applies to state agencies administering food and school food authorities implementing the school breakfast program and the National School Lunch Program. Memo SFS 23-104 is the 2023 Summer Feeding Program new site request and non-congregate feeding application. New site request. SFA and non-SFA summer feeding sponsors that were approved and operational in the program year 2022 will be able to request a site by logging into the C&P website, clicking on the purple Summer Feeding tab. Next, click on the left purple sidebar to expand the title Applications. A drop-down of options appears, the first being Request a Site. Non-congregate feeding site requests. SFAs planning to provide summer feeding or SSO meals in rural parishes as designated by the SFSP Rural Designation Map are eligible to participate in non-congregate feeding when application criteria are met and when no congregate feeding is available in the area. Experienced sponsors must be considered in good standing under the Child Nutrition Program, which they currently operate in order to be eligible to apply. In order for a new non-SFA prospective sponsor to be eligible to apply for non-congregate feeding, a checklist of items and a questionnaire must be completed and determined accurate and complete by the state agency. Next, a viability, capability, and accountability evaluation and a pre-approval visit must be conducted and approved by the state agency. The final step is submission of a non-congregate SFSP online application for evaluation and approval by the state agency. Here is a screenshot of what it looks like for a new site request. Memo SFS 23-105, Updated Team Nutrition COVID-19 Resources. USDA Teen Nutrition Initiative released 4 slightly revised resources to help facilitate school and child care meal service operations while promoting safe and nutritious meals during the 2022-2023 school year. The tip sheets listed below have been updated to reflect current guidance related to COVID-19 pandemic. School meal programs providing multiple meals at a time during school year 22-23. Child and adult care food program providing multiple meals at a time during 2023. Child nutrition program meal service during school year 2022-2023. And school meal supply chain issues during school year 2022-2023. Now let's talk about some previous menus we went over on last month's call, but they are important, so we wanted to mention again this month. Memo SFS 23-76, the Summer Food Service Program training for new and returning sponsors was hosted on Tuesday, March 28th. We have also hosted trainings on non-congregate feeding and the new final rules for summer feeding. If you missed these events, please go to Louisiana Fit Kids to watch the presentation. Memo SFS 23-77, announcing forthcoming proposed rule and state agency and school food authority webinars, child nutrition programs, CEP, increasing options for schools. On March 23rd, USDA Food Nutrition Service published a proposed rule, child nutrition programs, community eligibility provision, increasing options for schools. The rule proposes to expand access to community eligibility provision by lowering the minimum identified student percentage participation threshold from 40% to 25%, which would give states and schools greater flexibility to choose to invest non-federal funds to offer no-cost meals to all enrolled students. As a result, more students, families, and schools would have an opportunity to experience the benefits of CEP, including access to meals at no cost, eliminating unpaid meal charges, minimizing stigma, reducing paperwork for school nutrition staff and families, and streamlining meal service operations. Memo SFS 23-78 is request for applications for the fiscal year 2023 Team Nutrition Grant supporting nutrition education for school-age children. On Wednesday, March 22nd, the Food Nutrition Services released a request for applications for fiscal year 2023 Team Nutrition Grant supporting nutrition education for school-age children. State agencies that administer the National School Lunch Program and/or the Child and Adult Care Food Program at risk after-school meals and outside school hours care centers and school food authorities are eligible to apply for up to $1 million each in grant funds. Applications are due on May 22nd, 2023. State agencies and SFAs can view the RFA and apply online. The goal for the fiscal year 2023 Team Nutrition Grant is to facilitate the adoption of healthy eating patterns by school-age children, pre-K through 12, and their families through the coordination and implementation of My Plate Nutrition Education connected to the nutritious meals and snacks offered through USDA child nutrition programs. FNS expects to award approximately $10 million in total funding through a competitive award process for use over a 3-year grant period. Should additional funds become available, USDA may increase the grant ceiling and/or award grants to more states. FNS expects to announce the grant awards in August 2023. The 2023 Team Nutrition Grant funds will support grant activities that focus on 4 objectives: increasing the consumption of nutritious foods and beverages offered through the National School Lunch Program and CACFP at-risk after-school meals, and OSHCC via high-quality My Plate nutrition education. Increasing awareness of the My Plate symbol and accompanying My Plate nutrition education tools, resources, and messages. Increase awareness of the nutritional contributions of meals and snacks offered to students from parents, caregivers, school coaches, athletic trainers, school nurses, after-school program operators, and pre-K through 12 teachers. Improving equity by increasing the number of students from historically underserved and marginalized populations who are reached by nutrition education resources, including resources and recipes that are culturally appropriate and are in the preferred language of the students and their families. Increasing school community engagement in the development, implementation, and assessment of local wellness policies. Memo SFS 23-80 CEP reminders. Population data has been submitted, as well as the state agency publication. The next due date for CEP elections is June 30th, 2023. Elections will be open in the CMP system on June 1st. Please go to Louisiana Fit Kids and listen to the elections webinar if you missed it. Here are a few reminders about CEP terms. To renew means you are starting a new 4-year cycle. To continue, on the other hand, means that you are continuing to use your current base year. You're moving into a new year of your cycle. Your base year is the first year your CEP data was used. A grace year is a deceptive term. A grace year means you ended your 4-year cycle and no longer qualify for CEP, meaning as of now that you fall below 40%. A grace year will allow you to continue offering free meals to all students at that very, very low claiming percentage. You will be supplementing your program with a very high percentage of non-federal funds as you only claim that low ISP, 1.6 multiplier at the free rate. Your ISP is the number of identified students divided by your enrollment multiplied by 100 to get a percentage. The claiming percentage is your ISP times 1.6. Please remember, qualifying for CEP does not mean you get to claim all children at the free rate. You must have an ISP of 62.5% or higher in order to claim all meals served at the free rate. Population data can no longer be changed at this point. April 1st was the data point we have to use per regulations. April 15th is the cutoff date for establishing the ISP. So elections must be made off of the data currently entered and accepted in eScholar. Elections will open in the CMP website on June 1st and will be due by June 30th. Memo SFS 23-81, the deadline for state agency to receive food service management company contracts for the 2023-2024 school year. The deadline for SFAs to provide the state agency with new food service management company contracts and renewals for the 2023-2024 school year is June 1st, 2023. The SFA cannot claim meals for reimbursement served by a food service management company until the contract is approved. As a result, meals cannot be claimed for any dates prior to the contract approval date. Please check the ending date of your food service management company contract, as there are several SFAs that are required to rebid their contract for the 2023-2024 school year. In addition, the SFA will not be approved for participation in the Summer Food Service Program as of July 1st, 2023, without the state agency having received and approved the food service management company contract. The documents needed are available on the CNP website. Memo SFS 23-81, Rescheduling of School Year 2022-2023 Administrative Reviews. The state agency submitted a waiver to USDA on February 2nd, 2023. Since that time, the state agency has been waiting on USDA to approve the waiver, allowing the state agency to schedule all canceled administrative reviews for this school year to be conducted in school year 2023-2024. USDA approved the waiver on Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. School systems that receive the cancellation notice of their scheduled administrative review will be rescheduled in the school year 23-24. The Louisiana Department of Education Division of Nutrition Support will be sending out notification letters informing the systems of their upcoming administrative reviews near the beginning of the 2023-2024 school year. Summer is quickly approaching, so let's talk about SFSP for summer 2023. First, as you all know, non-congregate feeding is an option in rural parishes this summer that don't have congregate feeding options available. USDA's method for establishing rural status is through the USDA rural designation map pictured here. The purple areas are urban and do not qualify for rural non-congregate feeding. Here is a list of the 28 eligible parishes in Louisiana for non-congregate feeding. USDA has established a method for making determinations on rural pockets. If you have a question about a rural pocket, please send the address to Child Nutrition Programs at la.gov for review. Please direct non-congregate feeding questions again to Child Nutrition Programs at la.gov. For existing sponsors, all new sites will be submitted through the new site addition feature on the CNP website. Please note that all non-congregate sites will have to be submitted through this process. Please note also that if the site submitted is non-congregate, if applicable, you will need to make a comment so the site can be set up accordingly. As we receive non-congregate feeding site requests in the CNP system, we will be reaching out to SFA directors to determine summer feeding plans and if those parishes will be eligible for non-congregate feeding according to the USDA hierarchy and guidance. In lieu of entering 2 health inspection dates, sponsors will enter the start and end dates of the permit to operate in each SFSP facility application. You can see a screenshot of what it looks like on the site application. SFSP operations and claiming may not occur before or after the permit to operate dates. SFSP and SSO applications are due to the state agency at a minimum of 14 days prior to the start of operations. Counting and claiming of meals must not occur until the sponsor has an approved sponsor and site application on file. Backdating will not be approved. Per the new final rule, site supervisors must be individuals who are present for the majority of all meal services occurring at the site. Therefore, please designate an appropriate person as a site supervisor on each facility application. In the past, we have been able to permit one site supervisor to serve at multiple sites as long as they did not exceed 8 hours of work per day. However, this year, site supervisors will not be able to serve at sites open for the same days, times, and meals. The state agency now has a return feature. For applications that need significant revisions, the application will be returned to you. Please take this into consideration for time frames. This will restart the 14 days needed to process your application. Let's talk about the racial ethnic data form that is due for every SFSP site each summer. The requirement to end the practice of visual identification was effective as of May 17, 2021. By January 1, 2023, program operators must have alternate means to capture the data. Adult participants and parents and guardians may be asked to identify the racial or ethnic group of the participant only after it has been explained and they understand that providing the information is to ensure compliance with USDA non-discrimination requirements only, and that failure to report the information will not impact the participant's eligibility for meals. FNS discourages asking a child to self-identify their race and ethnicity as this practice may be confusing to young children. However, FNS understands that requesting information verbally may be uncomfortable for staff and for participants. Respect for individual dignity should guide the process and methods for collecting data on race and ethnicity. Ideally, respondent self-identification should be facilitated to the greatest extent possible. State agencies and program operators may wish to consider the following to collect data. Use individual school enrollment data to obtain racial and ethnic data for individual children. FSSP sites that are able to obtain children's names and have access to school enrollment records may use them to obtain racial and ethnic data, and this is for SFAs only. Providing racial and ethnic data is voluntary to program participants. If a program operator is unable to collect a participant's information, their response may be marked unknown. For that reason, FNS does not expect that the number of respondents will equal the number of children at a meal service site. However, FNS does expect program operators to continue to try to capture the data. And on this slide are additional resources. Next, we will discuss a few legislative updates. House Bill 282 removed the reduced price copay for children who qualify for reduced price meals. Originally, the verbiage in this bill allowed for universal free status for all public school children. The bill has since evolved to cover the reduced price copay. Here are the remaining trainings for this month. Tomorrow, May 3rd, we will have office hours. May 9th will be non-congregate feeding implementation. May 11th will be revisions to the SFSP online application. May 16th will be Resource Management Part 1 with CNR. May 18th will be Resource Management Part 2 with CNR. May 23rd will be the Paid Lunch Equity Tool and Average Meal Cost. May 30th will be CEP Elections, which is a repeat from the previous. And May 30th through June 1st will be the Virtual Manager Training with Pennington. This is a reminder that USDA regulations require all school food authorities and sponsors participating in child nutrition programs, even those not operating a summer feeding program, to promote summer feeding programs operating in the area when school is closed. State agencies that administer the National School Lunch Program are required to the maximum extent possible to ensure that SFAs cooperate with summer feeding sponsors to inform families of the availability and location of free summer meals for students when school is not in session. Confirmed by USDA, this regulation is applicable any period of time in which school is closed and summer feeding operations are occurring within your area. Ideas for promoting other summer feeding programs in your district include robocalls, emails, or text messages with links to sign up and information posted directly to district websites and newsletters. Next, let's talk about online application and claim submissions for 2022-2023. The 60 calendar day deadline for submitting claims still applies. A one-time exception is allowed only once every 36 months or 3 years. Update and make corrections to the CNB online application whenever changes occur or as needed. We have received some questions in our office about school year PEBT. This year's PEBT option does include verbiage to make certain homeschooled children eligible for benefits. These families will have to apply at their local schools. If you have any questions about this, please consider attending the PEBT office hours that are held each Tuesday from 10 to 11. Now let's talk about supply chain assistance funds, the third allocation. Because the underlying conditions fueling supply chain disruptions and other economic uncertainty remain significant in many parts of the country, FNS provided an additional $471.5 million in SCA funds. State agencies will distribute this third round of SCA funding to eligible SFAs via the same formula used to distribute the first and second rounds of funds. Much like the second allocation of SCA funds, these funds remain limited to the purchase of unprocessed or minimally processed domestic food products. Please refer to the following resources for more information. USDA Memo SP 15-02, the second allocation of supply chain assistance funds, USDA question and answers regarding supply chain assistance funds, and the slides in the recording from the March 10th SCA training posted on Louisiana Fit Kids website. Next is procurement and food service management company allowable cost. Procurement updates and reminders. Procurement regulations and SFA procurement plan for the school year 22-23. Please ensure that all state procurement laws and regulations are followed. Small purchase and micro purchase thresholds on May 31st, 2022, Governor John Bell Edwards signed House Bill 221, Act 204 into law. What this did was it increased the micro purchase threshold from $10,000 to $30,000. It increased the small purchase threshold from $30,000 to $60,000. Normal purchasing guideline regarding quotes with small purchases still apply, and this became effective August 1st, 2022. Memo SFS 23-008, Charter Schools Using Food Service Management Companies. Food service management companies charges outside of allowable expenses. C&P Food Service Management Company contracts are limited to meal times rate contract. Refer to Section 1, Scope and Purpose of the Prototype Food Service Management Company, Item FF. The charge to the SFA or sponsor for Food Service Management Company's fee is to be clearly identified in the proposal. Fees imposed by the Food Service Management Company outside of this contract may not be paid for with child nutrition funds. Refer to the proposal summary and agreement signed by the Food Service Management Company that states the offeror also understands that the Food Service Management Company cannot charge any fees other than the meal costs as indicated above for the number of meals served. The Food Service Management Company will not charge late fees, charge for meals delivered, etc. Health and safety, food vendor, distributors, and warehousing. Please ensure that your food vendors, distributors, warehousing, and warehousers serving C&Ps are required to have a food and drug permit with a copy of the annual health inspection kept on file with the program and procurement documentation. This will be added to the procurement plan and checklist. So that ends today's monthly call. If you have any questions, please call us at 225-342-9661. Or the best way is to get in touch with us is emailing us at childnutritionprograms@la.gov, and those emails will be filtered to the correct person that will be able to answer your question in a timely manner. I will check the chat box to see if there's any questions that I can answer at this time, and if there are, I will do that. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat box now. There is a question about what is the number for parents for PEBT. On the slide, there's a link to the parent portal, and it'd probably be their best option to where they can get information, or they can go to the website and the number will be there as well. At this time, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat box, but again, if you need to reach us, call us at 225-342-9661 or email us at childnutritionprograms@la.gov. Hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you for the next training.